readers! Today, we're going to be working with prefixes. Do you remember what a prefix is? A prefix is a word part we add to the beginning or front of a word to change that word and its meaning. Our goal today is to read and understand words with the prefixes after and under. Read those with me. After, under. Now, the after prefix means later or after. And the under prefix means below or less. Let's read some words with these prefixes to figure out what they mean. Here's our first word. Read with me. Underground. This word is underground. Now, when we see words with prefixes, it's okay to read those words in two parts, especially if the word is challenging. We can start by reading the prefix, under. Then we read what's left. In this case, the base word, ground. When we put those two parts together, we have our whole word, underground. Which prefix do you notice in this word? It has the prefix under. We know that under can mean below or less. So underground must mean below the ground. I recently read about Atlantic salmon that migrate through an underground cave. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Let's try another word together. Read with me. After effect. This word is after effect. Again, when we see a word with a prefix, we can read it by separating the prefix, after, and then reading what's left, effect. When we put it together, we have our word, after effect. Which prefix do you see here? The prefix after, which means later or after. An effect is a result or a consequence of an action. So an after effect is a result or consequence that happens at a later time. In the 1980s, zebra mussels were discovered in the Great Lakes. One after effect was that prey fish began to die, which hurt the salmon that ate them for food. Let's try another word. Read with me. Undereat. This word is undereat. Again, if you see a word with a prefix, you can read it in two parts. First, the prefix, under, and then we're left with eat, the base word eat. When we put those together, we have the word undereat. Which prefix do you notice in this word? The prefix under. Let's sort it into this column. We know that under means below or less. So under eat means to eat less than you should. Chinook salmon that live in the Great Lakes mostly eat alewives, which are a type of prey fish. So when there aren't enough alewives in the Great Lake, those salmon undereat, which really hurts those fish. Let's try another word together. Read with me. Afterthought. This word is afterthought. Do you remember how we can break this word apart to read it more easily? That's right. First, we can read the prefix, after, and then we read what's left, thought. We put those two parts together and we have the word afterthought. Which prefix do you see in this word? It's the prefix after, which means later or after. Thought is about the things that we think. So an afterthought is a thought that you have at a later time, maybe after something has already happened. Scientists know that we can't try to protect fish as an afterthought. We have to plan ahead. Now that we've read words with the prefixes after and under, let's try reading some words with these prefixes in a text. We are getting good at reading words with the prefixes after and under. We're going to read this text together and we'll be on the lookout for words with those two prefixes. Read with me. Piping plovers are hard to spot. These endangered sandy-colored birds are almost invisible on the beach. It is easiest to see the plovers when they sprint toward worms and insects that hide just underground. Let's pause right there. I noticed a word with one of our prefixes. Did you? It's the word underground. Which prefix do you see in that word? It's the prefix under, which means below or less. So underground must mean below the ground. That helps us understand that the worms and insects that the plovers are hunting are hiding below the ground. Let's keep reading and see if we can find other words with these prefixes. When plovers chase their afternoon snack, you might see their white underside and orange legs. Did you notice any words with the prefixes after or under in that sentence? I did. The first one I noticed was the word afternoon. Which prefix do you see in that word? It's the prefix after. Our base word is noon. We know that after means later or after, and noon is 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. So afternoon means later than noon. So they are looking for a snack later than noon. Did you notice any other word with the after or under prefix? I noticed this one right here, underside. Which prefix did you see? The prefix under. We know that under means below or less. So the underside of the plover must be the side of the plover that is below the plover, the feathers that are underneath the plover. So they have white feathers under their body, on the underside. Let's read this text one more time to better understand it now that we understand what these three words mean. Piping plovers are hard to spot. These endangered sandy-colored birds are almost invisible on the beach. It is easiest to see the plovers when they sprint toward worms and insects that hide just underground. When plovers chase their afternoon snack, you might see their white underside and orange legs. Great work today reading and writing words with the after and under prefixes. I'm sure you can find these prefixes while you're reading. I'm so glad that we get to meet again soon to learn more about new words.
This program is made possible in part by the Michigan Department of Education, the State of Michigan, and the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. Additional support by viewers like you. Thank you.